Let's take a look at multiplying polynomials. Basically, what you're going to see is when we're multiplying polynomials, we're using the distributive property. How much we have to use the distributive property just has to do with what kind of polynomials we're multiplying together. We're going to start with a set of binomials. I have x plus 2 times x minus 6. I'll start by multiplying x times x, which gives me x squared. Then I'll multiply x times negative 6. I have minus 6x. I have positive 2 times x. There's a plus 2x. And then the last thing I do is 2 times negative 6, which is minus 12. Hopefully you saw that I took the first term x, I multiplied it by the x and the minus 6. Then I moved over to the 2 and I multiplied it by the x and the minus 6. After you've distributed everything, you want to look back and see if there's any way you can simplify your result. Notice I have a negative 6x and a positive 2x, so I can put those two together. I'm going to keep the x squared. Negative 6 plus 2 is a minus 4x, and then I have minus 12. Let's do another example. I have 3y plus 8 times 4y plus 1. Again, I'm going to distribute, so I'm going to do 3y times 4y and 3y times 1. So 3y times 4y is 12y squared, plus 3y times 1 is 3y. Now I'm going to take the 8 and multiply it by 4y, so there's 32y. And then I'll take the 8 and multiply it by 1, so I have plus 8. Just like last time, I look over my result and I see if there's any way to simplify, and I see these two terms in the middle are both y's. I'm going to add the coefficients. I'll have 12y squared plus 3 plus 32 is 35y, and then plus 8. The next one doesn't quite look like I'm multiplying two binomials together, but we are. I have z plus 7 squared. What I want to do is expand that and say that means I have z plus 7 times z plus 7. So looking at z plus 7 times z plus 7, I want to do the same thing I did with my previous examples. I want to distribute the z to both terms, so that gives me z squared plus 7z. And then I want to distribute the 7 to both terms. So I get another 7z, and then 7 times 7 is 49. One more time, the middle terms are like terms, so I can add the coefficients. I have z squared plus 7 is 14z, and then plus 49. Now we know to take this 6x minus 2 squared and rewrite it as 6x minus 2 times 6x minus 2. I'm going to distribute the 6x, so 6x times 6x is 36x squared. 6x times negative 2 is minus 12x. Negative 2 times 6x is minus 12x. And negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. As always, be careful with your signs because it's easy to drop them. Let's look at our middle terms this time, negative 12 and negative 12. So I have 36x squared. Negative 12 minus 12 is negative 24x, and then a positive 4. So let's move on to something besides binomials, and here I have a monomial times a trinomial. I'm still going to use the distributive property. I'm going to multiply each of the terms by 2x cubed. So let's start with 2x cubed times 7x to the 4th. 2 times 7 is 14. I'm going to add 3 plus 4, so my exponent is 7. Then I have 2x cubed times negative 15x squared. So 2 times negative 15 is negative 30. The exponent is 3 plus 2, which is 5. The last term, I have 2x cubed times 12x, so I have plus 2 times 12 is 24. I have x cubed, and it may help to put a 1 as the exponent on the x. That way I'm thinking 3 plus 1 is 4. This time I have nothing to simplify. Everything has a different power, so no like terms. So let's try a binomial times a trinomial. So my binomial is 5n minus 4, and I'm multiplying it by the trinomial 3n squared plus 6n minus 8. I take 5n times 3n squared. That gives me 15n cubed. Again, you can go in and put a 1 in for the exponent of n if it helps you in performing the product rule. Now let's do 5n times 6n. So 5 times 6 is 30. I have 1 plus 1 is 2, so I have 30n squared. Now 5n times negative 8 is negative 40n. Let's repeat the distribution, but this time use negative 4. So I have negative 4 times 3n squared, that's negative 12n squared. Negative 4 times 6n is minus 24n. And then negative 4 times negative 8 is a positive 32. So let's take our time to see what matches. What kind of terms can I put together? I only see one cubed term, so I'm going to write my 15n cubed. But then I notice I have a 30n squared and I have minus 12n squared, so two different terms there. So 30 minus 12 is a positive 18n squared. Then I see a negative 40n and a negative 24n. So negative 40 minus 24 is negative 64n. And then the final term is 32, so we say plus 32. In general, I hope you think of multiplication of polynomials as being just a repetition of the distribution property. Take your time, make sure you multiply each piece by the next appropriate piece, and then afterwards make sure that you look for any simplification that you can do.